Morning, everyone. Okay, so the homework from the live lessons on Monday were based on calculating percentages. So we'll give these a go now. Okay, so I'll start with number 8. Last week, Marie had tests in 5 of her subjects. She got 27 out of 30 in history, 17 out of 20 in CSPE, 91% for maths, 0.85 of the total marks in science, 185 out of 200 for English. Okay, so for part A, what percentage did she get in each subject? Okay, so we want to turn all of these into percentages. So we'll start with history. So in history, she got 27 out of 30. So first thing we do is write it as a fraction. 27 out of 30. And then to turn it into a percentage, we multiply it by 100. So 27 over 30 multiplied by 100 is 90%. Okay, so next is CSPE. In CSP, she got 17 out of 20, which we'll do the same thing with. Write it as a fraction and then multiply by 100 to make it a percentage. So that one is 85%. Next one is maths, and maths is 91%. So that's already a percent, so don't need to do anything with that. Next is science. Science is here as a decimal, so 0.85. Doesn't matter whether you're trying to turn a fraction or a decimal into a percentage, you still multiply by 100. So that's 85%. Okay, and then the last one is English. In English, she got 185 out of 200. So 185 over 200 is the fraction. And again, make it a percentage, multiply by 100. So that is 92.5. Okay, so that was part A. What percentage did Marie get in each subject? And for part B, in which subject did she score the best? English. Why did that happen? That's weird. Okay, let's just get rid of it. Try again. God, that's annoying. Okay. Try it this way. Okay, there you go. In which subject did she score the best? She scored the best in English. It says justify your answer, but like, I don't know. Something like that, because this is the highest percentage. Okay, the second one, 40% of all the pupils in a class are boys. What percentage are girls? So percents are always out of 100. So if 47 are boys, then we just have to subtract that from 100. And we figure out that 53% are girls. That's that one. What was that? Question 1. Okay, question 7. A charity makes €1,200 selling raffle tickets. 25% of the money is used for prizes and printing. How much money goes to the charity? Okay, so we need to figure out what is 25% of €1,200? You always take the number with the percentage and put it over 100, and then you multiply by the other number in the question. Okay, so that is €300. So €300 goes towards, what did they say? Prizes. Prizes and printing. So the charity made €1,200 on this raffle ticket sale. 25% of that money, which we now know is €300, was used to get the prizes for the raffle and do the printing for the raffle. So how much money actually goes to the charity? We're going to have to do €1,200 minus €300, which means €900 goes to the charity. Okay, and then the last one, 8. An adult brain weighs 2% of a person's total weight. So whatever you weigh, your brain is about 2% of that. So what is the approximate weight of the brain of an adult weighing 60 kilos? Okay, so we need to do 2% of 60 kilos. So same thing, you take the number with the percentage and you put it over 100. And then you multiply that by the other number in the question. So I'm typing that into my calculator. It's coming up as a fraction. So I'm going to press my SD button and I get 1.2 kilos. So if the person weighs 60 kilos, that person's brain weighs 1.2 kilos. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. So that's your homework. Okay, so let me know if there are any questions. I'm just going to put in Wednesday the 3rd. Okay, so that's the homework for Monday. So if you have any issues, would you please get on to me and let me know? And we are going to finish this chapter. So we are right at the bottom. Calculated, done. Yep, here we are. So the last thing in this chapter is percentage increase and percentage decrease. Okay, so you'll see with these questions, it's talking about, so I don't know, it would be like buying a book for €20 and then your friend bought the same book, but when they bought it, the price had increased. So let's say he was like, oh, I bought it for €22, and you're like, oh, you spent €2 more than me. But when we're discussing this, it would be a percentage increase. So we won't say that he spent €2 more. We might say that he spent 5% more or 4% more. Okay, so that's essentially what we're talking about. We're talking about kind of purchasing items, and for someone else to purchase the item, it will have increased in price. And what they'll be talking about here is what percentage did it increase by. So in my little example, sorry, I'll move that over now. I bought the book for €20. and then my friend bought the same book for €22. Okay, so I think it's quite obvious that there was an increase in the price. That increase is that the price went up by €2. But what we want to know in this chapter, or in this part of the chapter, is what was the percentage increase. Okay, so we don't want to know that it went up by €2. We want to know by how many percent did it increase. Okay, and there's a formula here in the green box. So the percentage increase or decrease. Okay, so you create this first part here is, see this bit here? You create a fraction. Okay, the top of the fraction you put either the increase or the decrease. So if the price increased, that's the number that goes in there. If the price decreased, that's the number that goes in there, whatever it is. And the original number or the original price, and then this bit over here. Okay, I don't know why it said don't worry about the over 1. You're multiplying it by 100. And the reason for the multiplying by 100, hopefully you already know. It's to turn the fraction into a percentage. Okay, so when you're doing this, you make a fraction, this one here, where you put the increase or the decrease over the original number. And then the second part is that you multiply by 100. And the reason we do that is to make it a percentage. Okay, so if I go back over here to my little example. So if I want to figure out the percentage increase, I have to make a fraction where I put the increase. So how much did the price of this book increase by? It increased by €2. I put that over, so I make a fraction, put that over the original price of the book. So the original price of the book is what I paid for it, which is €20. And then we're going to multiply that by 100 so that it gives me a percentage. Okay, I'm just going to type that into my calculator. And I get 10%. So in my example, the book increased by 10%. So that's what this is about, okay? For the most part, you know how much it's increased by. Okay, that's what's written there in red. The book started at 20, it's gone up to 22. What we want to do is write that increase as a percentage. Okay, so we'll do one of the proper examples now. So John spent $11.25 on a calculator last year. His friend Thomas spent $14.50 on the same calculator this year. Find, correct to 2 decimal places, the percentage increase in the price of the calculator. Okay, so I think you can see that there's an increase in price. Okay, so the way we figure out how big the increase is we do the $14.50, so that's the price that the friend paid, minus $11.25 that John paid. And that means that the calculator increased by €3.25. So that's how much the price of the calculator has increased. Now we want to figure out the percentage increase. Okay, so we make our fraction where we put the increase on the top line, and on the bottom line we put the original price. So the original price is the $11.25. And then to make it a percentage, we need to multiply by 100. Okay, so that's just getting typed into my calculator. Times 100. Now, this is interesting. When I get my answer in my calculator, I'm getting this. Right? But we know what this means now, don't we? Okay, we know that that dot means that 8 is repeated. So it's going to be 28.88888888, and so on. It'll keep going. Okay? Now, we were asked for 2 decimal places. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to mark my first decimal place. I'm going to mark my second decimal place. And then I don't want to write any more numbers. I want to stop there. So we look at the number after where we stopped. And is that going to be big enough to push the previous number? Yes, it is. So we get 28.8. And then that next 8 will go up by 1. So it will become a 9. So what percentage did the calculator's price increase by? It increased by 28.89%. Okay, we'll do one more. So a bookshop has reduced the price of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows from £10.35 to £8.05. Find correct to 2 decimal places the percentage decrease of the book. Okay, so this time it's gone down in price. So we have a decrease in price. Now we find it the same way. So we do 10.35 minus 8.05. So still subtraction. And we find out that it's gone down . So it's gone down by €2.30. Okay. Now the question asks us though, we don't want to just know the decrease, we want to know the percentage decrease. So we'll have to make our fraction. So we put the decrease, over the original price of the book, and the original price was the 10.35. That's what it cost before it was reduced. So the 10.35 is the original price. And then we need to make it a percentage. So we're going to multiply that by 100. Okay, so typing that into my calculator using my fraction button, multiply by 100. And when I get the answer, I get, this is what's in my calculator, 22.2 recurring. Again, this bit means that we repeat the 2. So I can write it like this. Okay, and again it will continue. We were asked for 2 decimal places again. So here's my first one. Here's my second one. And then I don't want to write down any more. So we'll have a look at the number after the stop. Is that number going to be big enough to push up the previous number? No, it's not, because it's less than 5. So the answer will be 22.2. And the next 2 will not change, so it stays percent. So the price of this book has gone down by 22.22%. Okay, so it's nothing different from what we did the other day. The other day we were making fractions and multiplying by 100. It's the exact same thing here. We're making fractions and we're multiplying by 100. It's just the fraction that you make. Okay, so the fraction that you make is the top line is either the increase or the decrease, depending on whether it did increase or decrease. And the bottom line has to be the original number. So most of the time it's price. Okay, so what did the item originally cost? That's what goes on the bottom. And then we multiply it by 100 simply to turn it into a percentage. Okay, so, excuse me, for homework, let's see. I think we'll go with 2 and 3. Okay, so sorry, I'm down here. I think we might go with 2 and 3 there. So I'm just going to put these into the journal so that I don't forget, because I have a tendency to forget. So we put them straight in. Wednesday the 3rd, percentage increase and decrease, and I'll just take the 2 that I'm giving you. So question 2 and question 3. Okay, so they are due for Friday morning. Sorry, they're due for Thursday morning for Taylor and Cluxton. Friday morning for McGrath, as with your timetable. All right, so let me know if you come across any issues, okay? All right, thanks guys. I'll chat to you either Thursday or Friday.